Okay, welcome everybody. I am on live. Had a couple of technical issues, so if you try to see my usual um, likeness page, I couldn't seem to get the right size today. So we're going to go live in a second. We're going to go live in a second, and we will see what's going on here. Um, I'm going to try to see if I can hook up my broadcast through. I don't know if I can do this live. I usually do. Just give me a second, and I may have to do this another way. I usually can put myself on live through another uh, situation, and I see that I can't do it, so I'm going to do it another way. All right, everybody. Today is Thursday. It is January the 11th, 2024. And according to numerology, 2024 is a universal 8. You add that to January, which is a 1, that's a 9. You add that to the 11th, that's a 20. So this is actually a day of transformation, rebirth, regeneration, and transformation of ideas. But it is also hidden underneath a master number 11 day, which is about dreams and visions, mysteries, secrets, and opportunities to understand things in that manner. Hey there, my friend. So, um, it is this glorious opportunity to be able to do this. I'm going to try to get my sound up a little louder. These things make the adjustments. I guess it's thinking that I'm talking too loud, but I know you can hear me. So, today's topic, this is, of course, Clear Blue Radiance, and I'm the host, Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I've been a spiritual counselor for more than 40 years, actually 45 years. And this is an opportunity to share whatever's going on up there in my cranium and in my heart with all of you that have this opportunity to tune on. Now, I'm doing this podcast every Thursday for Michelle Vidal, who is the owner of Resonant Essentials. So I'm one of the practitioners that comes on, and I try to give a weekly lecture, quick seminar, quick talk. And it's a good time for me to practice all the things that I've been studying for 50 years. This will be my 50th year come July 2nd, 1974, that I've been doing the Circle of Grace 1. So, you know, I enjoy helping people such as yourself gain greater clarity in your life and to discover or redefine your purpose. And that's very important. Today's topic is today is a master number 11 date, and meditation is the aegis of the mind. The word aegis is a Latin term for wings or divine wings. And so meditation is something that's very important, and it has been important for 10 thousands of years. Our ancestors all over the world. Doesn't matter if you lived in Africa, if you lived in Asia continents, you lived in Europe, you lived by the North Pole, the South Pole. One of your ancestors, many of your ancestors were in deep contemplation, deep meditation, deep prayer, communicating with the ancestors, communicating with nature. And so meditation is that kind of thing that we can utilize moment to moment, because moment to moment we're transferring energy all the time. When we go to sleep at night, the brain is still pumping out wavelengths. There was a German fellow whose last name was Hertz. So he was the person that discovered, quote unquote, that the brain goes through different levels, like a sine wave, up, mountain, down, and out. And the higher the peaks was considered the awakening, the time when we're wide awake, when we're physically active. That was, they call that the beta. Now, sometimes I think they should have called it alpha because they're using Latin terms, alpha, beta, theta, delta, but they call beta the most active, and they call alpha the range underneath. And the beta range is somewhere around 12 and a half to 13 hertz cycles, all the way up to 25, 26, 30 beats per second for the brainwave level. When we're wide awake, that's when we're able to dissolve, um, figure out problems, issues, make decisions. The mind is very active. We're reading, we're multitasking, we're physically very active. Then underneath that, it slows down a little bit, and it's called alpha. And the alpha waves are like from 8 cycles per second up to about that 12, 12 and a half range. Okay, things are much slower. That's when we are falling off into sleep. That's when we get a little drowsy. That's when we start to go into meditation. And often, usually, it takes a little bit of time for us to go into that zone. Some people say they get into it right away in terms of they can go right to sleep right away. But the mind is still restless. The body is restless. The heart is pumping blood. Now, here's the thing that we have to be aware of. And if you were someone who studied biorhythms takes into consideration your mental thought processes, your emotional energy level, and your physical energy level. And when these three peak at the same time, you're in this space, you're in this zone, you're like floating. Everything is supposed to come together. They have scientists who work with biorhythms in the medical field have monitored an athlete's heartbeat and brainwave level, and they've seen it on a screen where it slows down or when it picks up. People who work in high-powered high mental energy that takes a lot of physical and emotional energy, like detectives, police, especially police people, military people. Their mind is like this. And they're trying to pull their mind down and try to get that zone. But their body's extremely active. It's hard for them to relax. Their heartbeat is racing. Because they closer they get to a situation, they're really hyped. Now, in sports, the same thing. You get excited. Women playing the soccer, basketball, field hockey, you name it. They're getting really revved up, really getting excited. The heartbeat is pumping, the brain is pumping. And then they're trying to slow all of that down. We can be calm. The yoga masters across the water in India come from those traditions in the ashrams, where they sit in meditation very quietly to calm the mind, to calm the heart down. And some of them have been proven to be able to bring the heart beat lower. The average person's heartbeat pulse rate is about 72 seconds per minute. Well, if I'm right. Yeah, about 70, well, not seconds. They call it 72 beats per minute. That's a lot of time. That's equivalent to the beta range on some level because you're still awake because it's pulsating that quick. But over a period of time, when the yogi can relax the mind and then relax the body as well, the muscles in the body and everything, then the brainwave level slows down and so does the heartbeat. And they can bring it down to about 60 or lower. An athlete like a marathon runner or a swimmer probably brings theirs down to about maybe 69, 65 beats per minute. So it takes quite a deal. Let me say hello to my audience. Servants of the Most High. I got it. How you doing? And then we have Samara Woods. Glad to see you back. Happy New Year to you as well. And so there's this thing where the mind is going up and down, the emotions going up and down. It's like a ball bouncing, right? The higher the ball bounces, that's more like the beta. But when it starts to slow down, everything slows down. Many people who have experienced meditation will tell you, many people who experience meditation will tell you that they feel like a state of euphoria, high. Now, when I was in college, I must admit, I went through that thing where you smoked a little MJ, I wanted to see what the experience was like, but I fell more into the study of meditation that helped me with another guy. He wasn't even a student on campus, but he once served in the Vietnam War, and he learned how to meditate. He used to pop through the campus often hanging out. There was a lot of vets hanging out there who weren't even students there, but and some of them came from some very wealthy families. They were like professional students, you know. As long as they enrolled somewhere, that was it. And they would just bounce all over the United States going to classes. But he taught me how to overcome, you know, my anger that I had with myself, my emotions, my mind. He taught me in my middle of my freshman year, 1971, how to bring all of that energy down. And then he used to tell me go off by myself into the woods. We used to go into the woods and meditate, or we would meditate behind one of the big dorms on campus. But eventually, he took me into the woods. And then one day, about a couple of months, couple of weeks into that, he had to go away. So he told me to keep up the practice, and I would do it. I would sit in the woods in a misty rain on a blanket or a piece of tarp, and I would meditate. I would go into a dorm, social area, I would meditate. I'd go into the gym, somewhere where I couldn't be seen. I'd meditate. Everybody would leave the dorm. Great for me. I could meditate. So I got into it, and it helped me overcome wild thoughts running all over the place, worry, anxiety, doubt, self doubt, self sabotage, low self esteem. I was able to rebuild myself with meditation. And then finding out later along the way, my mom was into this stuff, but she didn't tell me until I asked. That's the way it went those days. And I learned how it was very important to pay attention to the mind. The mind is constantly in motion, and you have to calm it down. We got emotional states that can get out of hand. We have to calm it down. So all these things I had to learn how to do for myself. And eventually, after my freshman year, when I stepped into my sophomore year in September of 71, by that time, when I went through the summer, man, I was moving. Summer 1971, I was in a different state of mind, different person, and it got better. And the better I got, the easier things around me got in terms of how to deal with certain people who would agitate me like that. I didn't have to run away from them. I could sit in another world with my mind while they were going like this, or, to them it's fun and games. To me, it wasn't, but I could quiet my mind and quiet the energy field between myself and them to the point that they thought I was odd and I was really weird. They didn't know what was going on, but I was commanding that personal space. I was claiming it, and I was putting my energy into it where I wanted to see peace, harmony, and happiness and nothing else. So those people who used to pick at me, the bullies, all of them would get up and go. I didn't understand that I was affecting that 3 foot radius. But eventually, with my mother's help, I was affecting a 6 foot radius, a 9 foot radius. And eventually, I was doing a 24 foot diameter. And I'm right in the center. Hi there, Barbara. And I was able to control that space. And I was in a state of peace. And then I learned how to keep that out like a big umbrella. And I noticed people couldn't come any closer to me. After a while, I made it 18. I didn't know what I was really doing. But then when I joined like something called the Rosicrucians back in the day, because my mother was a member, she actually went to a real place. I was in the book, month by month. I learned some techniques then too, like a pink bubble light technique that I put in my new manuscript. And that thing was a glorious tool because it kept all the energy around me emotionally at peace. And no one could be in that space unless they were drawn to peace, unless they were in search of peace. So, meditation is a very important step. And the deeper you can get in your meditation, you can get into that theta realm. That's when you're in the very deepest of sleep. And then I call it the comatose state when you're in delta. Delta is like almost 1 cycle per second up to about 4 cycles per second. That's super slow. And the theta range is about 5 to 7. And that's even slow. But that's where you are in the dream world. You have the out of body experiences between theta and delta. But theta, you can go really deep. The woman who passed away, I guess in 1999, not sure, but there's a lot of clips of her on YouTube. Her name is Dolores Cannon. She created something called a quantum healing hypnosis therapy, tool. And she got people real deep where she was doing one of those people, I think one of the first ones, getting people really deep into the brain where they began to kick forth the memory of who they were in other lifetimes. And her technique is still alive today. Her daughter, I think is Diane Cannon, she teaches it. She carries on her mother's teachings. People all over the world have been, and I've never really tried it out, but I probably have touched upon it on my own because I love to go into deep meditation. And I can tell you if you're into meditation, you will find out all kinds of things about yourself. Some people like to do meditation deep enough where they're reading someone's Akashic records. The only thing about that, if someone didn't give you the permission to go in their personal library, you're not supposed to be in there. Why? Because people have been known to peer into someone's Akashic records to get that deep and manipulate timelines. Because in the Akashic records, there's timelines in there, and you begin to discover them. So, but what happens is there's like a karmic spanking that goes on if you're doing that. So if someone didn't come into agreement for you to do that, then you can't do that. You have to respect their vows, their privacy. Now, if they give you that arrangement, then you can start to delve into it. Hopefully, you'll pull out some very important messages and scenes and things for them that they need to understand what's going on now in their current life. So, meditation is a key. Numerology is another key that helps you to unlock the door to kind of let you know what's in front of you, what's around you, what to expect, and what you can do to make things a little easier for yourself. So today, the calendar day itself is an 11, and it's a reminder about understanding the mysteries of life, the mystical cycles, as we might say. Understand who you are metaphysically speaking, who you are spiritually. They're about one and the same. Metaphysically is going beyond the physical, and spiritual is touching the light factors within the greater complexity matrix of yourself. And so one of the things that happens is I always see the dream world as the workshop of the mind. I'll say that again. The dream world is the workshop of the mind. This is where we could seek and receive answers to our daily issues or receive messages connected to higher states of consciousness. So, yeah, you got everyday things that are going on. Sometimes when you go to sleep at night, you experience the silliness. That means you'll see some thoughts that will pop up in your mind that had something to do with what had been going on through the day, and then something uh, out of the ordinary, or something kind of silly, or something kind of like a cartoon. Many times people have TVs in their bedrooms. I never put one in my bedroom. I keep it in the living room. Why? Because I want to go to sleep at night. If I have the TV in the bedroom and I'm not sleeping at night, I'm not ever going to get any sleep because I'm going to listen to the TV and subliminal messages pop in from the TV while I'm asleep. So I don't want that to experience. I don't want that experience in my life, in my dream world. I want it clear. I don't want any drama from TV, any movie stuff, you name it. I don't even care if it's sports. I don't want to be listening to that. Now, if I want to listen to something, I'll take my iPad that's in my bedroom and I'll tune into something that gives the hertz cycles for healing: 147, 174, 825, 528. These that can be used to heal up the cells in the body. Now, at the same time, there's beautiful music and there's symmetry, right? Very beautiful pictures, but the information, the binaural beats, are embedded very deeply into a track. So sometimes you're listening to music. There's 8 tracks, 4 tracks, 8 tracks, 16 tracks, 24 tracks, and all of this stuff is embedded in there, even words. So you kind of have to go with your gut feeling if you feel that you could utilize something like that. The regular binaural beats is a really quick tap, successive taps, like something like that in sound. That's a binaural beat going really fast. And it's supposed to break down the walls, the waves of energy, so you can step in there. So that's uncomfortable to hear. There are the different hertz tones, like on a piano or tuning forks. Now that's a little easier. You can ring that and ride on that if you know how to utilize it for yourself. So the dream world is sort of like the workshop of the mind. You go in the dream world and you start seeing things occurring that have happened. So it comes from your subconscious, in the subconscious memory bank, things that have happened during the course of the day, several days, several weeks, several months. And what you're striving to do is to get in there and relive in the dream world those scenarios and see if you can understand what's going on. Is someone in there that you know that's talking to you, or someone you don't know? Uh, the late Reverend Ike used to say the theater of the mind. It's like, yeah, going to a theater and the curtains part, you see the screen and then the movie's going on. Well, you can be the person who's the onlooker, or you can get in the dream body like you are in your physical body. You don't see yourself unless you see a reflection. Then you can experience the dream that way and get more out of it. So those things, do happen, and you're trying to figure it out. It's a living, breathing puzzle. There are times when you do receive the messages of higher awareness, higher consciousness, deeper and deeper remembrances that take you toward to who you truly are. And for the most part, that's what we're trying to do every day. We're trying to figure out, hey, what the heck is going on with my life? Why are these certain people in my life? When you begin to look at everything metaphysically speaking, you realize you may have chose some of these people. You just don't remember choosing them. You don't remember having the agreement with that soul essence of that person, of their higher self, to your higher self, to materialize at this distinctive time in your life. And it's kind of hard because sometimes I experience kind of hard to go like, did I actually ring that up? I'm not getting along with this person. Did I call for that to be in the place? We do it all the time. We just don't know that we're doing it. This is why many metaphysical teachers will say you are creating your reality moment to moment, day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. You are consciously and unconsciously creating your destiny, your reality, whatever you want to call it. And that's why meditation comes along, because you have to. Yeah, Julia Cannon, thank you. That's Dolores Cannon's daughter. You got to drop into that moment to figure out, what are you doing? Why are you doing? Why are you drawn to these different personalities? People always ask themselves, like in relationships, women will say, why I get drawn to the bad boy syndrome, the guy with the motorcycle, the guy smoking this, because they want something tough. Guys might say, I don't even know why I am being drawn to this situation where I'm where I kind of know or don't know what's going on. So how come I pick these types of women who are cheaters? Well, most of us pick people, male or female, pick people who we think we can fix, and we can't fix them. They wind up breaking us. Then we go, oh wow, why did I do that? We all need a healing. There's a transference of energy, and there's something that happens when we can begin to go back within ourselves and start to heal who we are. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure out, what is it that I need to really do to make things make sense? Can I really do something and make things make sense? How do I go about doing that? And it's hard because there's so much we can take into the brain to analyze, and it gets to be overwhelming. So, meditation is the act of finding your center of being. And I always say that's like a question mark. Being what? You have to answer that question. Are you being difficult on yourself? Are you looking for that? Are you looking for more ease in your life, more effortless and ease and peace and unconditional love and harmony? Are you looking for self esteem? Are you looking for those things when you're meditating? Sometimes we can look for them, other times we need to create the vibration that brings that in, which means we have to change ourselves. I always tell my meditation students, just like a psychotherapist will tell somebody. In psychotherapy, they say you have your appointment to see the therapist, but you don't feel like going, and you're fighting it the whole time. I don't want to be there today. I should skip. You might even say days in advance. I don't think I'm gonna go to therapy this Thursday. I think I'm gonna skip. Well, the reason it has nothing to do with the therapist. It has more to do with yourself. You're feeling uncomfortable because something is coming up on the inside of you that needs to be spoken, needs to be brought out by yourself. So the therapist can help you analyze it. It's the same in meditation. There's many times I go, I don't feel like meditating today. I'm going to go read a book. Well, reading a book is a form of meditation. I'm going to go for a walk. Going for a walk is a form of meditation. If you're a swimmer or a bicycle person, whatever you do, those are different forms of meditation, because it's taking you away from the physical. What meditation does, draws you in away from the physical so you can go inside and tinker around. Days I don't feel like meditating. If I skip one day, that's not a problem. But if I skip two, that's a problem. If I meditate twice in a day, when I get up in the morning, go to sleep at night, if I don't meditate in the morning, There's a whole lot of energy going on through the day. If I don't meditate during the day, then my day is off. Now, when I go into meditation at night, I got too much stuff to bring in because I didn't space it out during the daytime or in the morning. So, meditation is important. Numerology is important. Numerology is that kind of thing. It's a tool that you can use like astrology. I call numerology the shorthand of astrology. You could use it to figure out what your cycles are in your life, day to day, hour to hour, week to week, month to month, and so forth. You can figure out what's going on around you and what do you need to think about, what do you need to do in order to make some changes in your life, or in order to accept changes if that's what you're supposed to do. Numerology is the study of numbers and their hidden influences. The old fashioned way, they're occult influences, occult, hidden from the eye. You can't see it with the physical eye, but your spiritual eye, you know it's there. So you can incorporate those two together along with dreams. You can take a dream that you have, bring it into your meditation, and begin to work on it. Bring the dream into your meditation and begin to explore it. While you're exploring the things you see in the dream, you have an opportunity to figure it out. And now you can figure out all the nuts and bolts, all those little pieces and big pieces. You begin to break things down so you can see how they are. And then you could operate it in such a way, you could put them into your life in such a way, make some comparisons, make some changes, or just leave some stuff alone. Well, that's my message for today. If you kind of like this message, you can share it out. You can come back and you can replay it. I'd like to thank Servant of the Most High to be here, E. Samara Woods to be here, Barbara Ewing is in here, and anybody else that comes in here later to replay it, like Melanie Hall, my my new buddy out of Australia, who will tune in a little later. Many people, or Jackie may clip in and check it out a little later. You know, these are things that we all can use. Sometimes I like to replay them myself to see what I can get out of these situations. If you're ever in town here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the Southwest, in this good state of New Mexico, every month on the second Sunday, we do a psychic and healing fair, meaning we'll have some energy workers there. Michelle has the Healy machine that she works with. We have sometimes Reiki people there with us that are working on people. We have a guy, I guess he will be back. He does like a cranial synchronicity thing where he's able to plug in to what's going on in the brain and how that affects you in your everyday life. I'm in there doing, spiritual drawings called Celestial I Am drawings. And instead of Angel of Grace readings, I call them the Angle of Grace readings. A certain degree of grace you can receive in those readings. So I'm there. It's usually from free admission every second Sunday. So we'll be there this Sunday, January the 4th, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. There's usually about a total of 14 people in there. There's usually about one, two, uh, usually have two vendors. Now we're going to have three vendors, and the rest of us will be taking care of the public. And sometimes you get it for $1.50 a minute for your session. I'm charging $30 for 20 minutes. I actually $30 for 30 minutes, $40 for the drawings, and then $20 for the Angel of Grace readings. So $20 for 20 minutes, or you can get $30 for 25 minutes. We're there to help you. That's this Sunday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. If you want to stay up with Resident Essentials, we're on Facebook. Michelle has a page called Resonant Essentials, the group. Resonant Essentials, the group. You can go in there and join. One of the administrators, herself and myself, answer a few of the questions. she has some questions there. A lot of people don't answer them, but it kind of gives us an idea of what you might be looking for. So when you join in there, it has a series of questions. There's only a few. Just answer the questions, give us an idea, and one of us will get back to you and bing, let you in. Okay, and this way you can kind of keep up with what's going on. This Monday, I will be interviewing Michelle, the owner of Resident Essentials, at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, which will be 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. I know that's Martin Luther King's birthday, but it's the only day we could squeeze in. So we will be on at that time, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central, our time at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and on the West Coast, it's 9 a.m. And I will be interviewing her. And if she has enough time, she will turn around and interview me. Okay. And it'll show on Facebook. All right. So be sure to tune in. Now, you probably on my Facebook profile page, that's probably where it will probably take place. Okay, so you can do that, or you can go to www.residentessentials.com. When the page comes up, you will see the name. You will also see a picture of the location, but you'll see a calendar. And you can see the different things that we got going on, classes, workshops. Michelle is doing her intuitive explosion class, I believe, going on now. And so, and she has something that's tied to her mastering metaphysics program to her new book. So she did that earlier this last year. She's probably doing intuitive explosion this time around. But if you're in town, you can take that course. She might set it up so you also people can be online. I don't know, but you have to check with her. You can email Michelle at Michelle, Michelle, at resonantessentials.com. And she'll get back in touch with you and give you all those details. If you're in town or if you want a remote session, you could click on practitioners and you can see the current practitioners, what they do, and their phone number. You can get in touch with them directly. Or you could check with the preferred business people. I'm one of them, one of three, and you can see like how to contact us. If you're here on Saturdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., I have for 1 hour my meditation, creative path work meditation. I have edit as much as 5 people to 15 people, and they're learning how to meditate, the essentials of meditation, and also eventually how to get you to knock on the door and let your higher self in, or your higher self will just show up. So, keeping that all in mind, I think I've said everything I've needed to say. Thank you for joining me. Come back and replay this to get this information. Hope to see you back here next week. Um, I'll try to have some more information. And also, I'll put this out to you. If there's something specific or in general you want me, a topical matter, you want me to go into, maybe I might know about it, maybe I may not, email me at iam dot circle of grace one at gmail.com. That's iam dot all lowercase circle of grace with the number one at the end at gmail.com. You can send me some specific questions or hey, Brother Francis, you ever thought about talking about this particular subject that's metaphysical and spiritual? And I'll see what I can do. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great weekend. This is a great 3-day weekend. You got a Saturday, you got Sunday, and you got Monday. Whatever you do, play it safe, be safe, hang out with your family and your loved ones. That's very important. Find out what the little people are thinking about because they're the ones that keep us on point. As they always say, and a little child shall lead them. I'm a child. Take care of yourself. I love you very much. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. Look forward to see you soon.